Welcome to the TCCF Metaverse. 各位现场的贵宾，大家再一次的早安。
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, good morning once again. Welcome to the 2021 TCCF. This is the second year in a row that I am serving as the Master of Ceremony for you in this forum. In today's sessions, we are going to take questions through Slido. You can scan the QR code on the screen to access the Slido page to raise your question. The theme for this section is Infinite Consumers, Fashion, Idols, and NFT. We know that the lines between popular entertainment medium and the content industry are increasingly blurred. Therefore, we can see the integration of hardware and software in film and TV, music, idol performances, and fashion shows. The session will spotlight virtual exhibits and its business models in Taiwan and abroad to explore how original creative content from Taiwan can transcend reality and create a multi-sensory experience for endless potentials. And you could see here on the stage as the setup that this is indeed a session that is known for its transcendence. Let's now welcome the moderator on stage. Hello, everyone. Here on the stage, you can see a little metaverse here because most of our panelists are joining us online instead of being here physically. In this session, we are going to mention keywords such as metaverse and NFT. The first presentation will be provided through pre-recorded video. This presentation will be made by the creative director and co-founder of The Fabricant. The Fabricant is a leading fashion brand in the field of metaverse and digital fashion. The Fabricant has worked with a lot of magazines and other platforms to launch digital fashion wardrobes as well as NFT. Let's now listen to J Sloten from The Fabricant.
Without producing any physical garments. How do we dress ourselves in a world that is becoming more digital every single day? We need to think about a new system where we're able to dress ourselves in new ways with technology that is better for the people and for the planet. My name is J Sloten, and I am a creative director and co-founder of The Fabricants. We are a digital-only fashion house, which means we create clothes that are always digital and never, ever physical. And with that, we try to create new narratives for the fashion industry. We waste nothing but data and exploit nothing but our imagination. And with that, we try to say that we basically want to create a new system in which we can create endless self-expression without it needing to have the impact on the planet as it always does. So we're able to sort of create that new way of working, which wastes nothing but data. And we say data is still wasting because data obviously is still wasting. But this is something that we always like to say. So what you see here is the image of our first collection that we released in 2018. And everything you see here is created with 3D modeling. So the model, the people front row that are sitting there and sort of hanging in space, this is all like a fabricated image. And we wanted to prove the fact that without using any physical garments, we could create the same experience for people to have with fashion. So they would be able to interact with it and they'd be able to see it from their point of view and feel the same emotions that they would have as watching a physical fashion show. With that, we try to sort of prove that we no longer need all of these resources to create fashion shows. We could do that from our studio in Amsterdam without needing any photographers, no models, no nothing. And this is something that we always love to question, is in the future, do we all need these things? Because in a way, our connections are now more digital than ever. Like we see now, I'm talking to you guys via a screen, and especially after the pandemic, this has become more intense. So we need a new fashion narrative because, in a way, the way that we talk about fashion is very much about consumption. It's very much about more stuff, more products being produced, new seasons every season, which is not inherently bad, but we just think that there would be a better way of expressing ourselves using technology. And also, it would be more expressive and creative too, because there's a lot of new opportunities. And the message that fashion has been telling the past years has not been so bright, right? There's literally rivers turning the color in the next fashion season. And there's toxic dyes being used in many of the brands still, and there's just a lot of things going wrong. Even like big piles of textile waste. This is literally a picture in Ghana where a lot of the textile waste from the Netherlands, for instance, ends up. And to me, as a young designer, this was very shocking. So I felt like there should be a new way of interacting with this, and especially because half our lives are more digital. So I decided to graduate with a full digital-only collection as a student, which was back in 2016. And then afterwards, I met my co-founder, Gary Murphy, and together we started The Fabricant in 2018. And like I said, a digital identity is more important than ever before. We are interacting with each other every single day via digital media, and especially for a younger generation, this is just normal, right? You're interacting with this sort of new way, and basically your life is already very digital. And if you look at stuff like games, a lot of people in games are expressing themselves. So in these new ways. So if you look at a game like Fortnite, which you see here on the picture, kids are literally finding it more important what they wear in the game the night before school than when they actually go to school. So it is this whole new idea of value and digital identity that is coming forth right now, in which these kids grow up in this sort of virtual world. And I myself, I'm a millennial, so I'm just right at the beginning and the in-between phase. And the interesting thing about it is that basically, I know what it's like to grow up in the physical world, but slowly moved into the digital world. And like these kids that are now growing up don't know anything else anymore than those two worlds actually being one, and they're one the same. And in games, there's already been revenue for virtual-only products since the beginning of times. So people have been paying money for virtual goods for a very, very long time. And it works actually really well. So it's weird that there was no connection between fashion and gaming before this, because it's a very smart one, because everybody will want to sort of dress themselves in the metaverse. So yeah, here's another image of the collection. Most fashion brands are sharing their shows on Instagram. So they have a physical show, they film it and they put it on Instagram, and there it's being watched by a lot of different people. It can be Instagram, can be any sort of social media platform, and there it's being watched by millions of people. But there's still like physical people involved, but this could all be done digitally. Plus the assets could be worn by anybody immediately. So if you do a virtual fashion show, you could make those items available as, for instance, AR filters or anything else for people to wear immediately when they watch the show. So it's much more of an interactive way of working with fashion, and it's way more direct. So instead of direct to runway, you could say like it's directly to your phone, and you can wear it instantly. So it's like instant wearability. One of our looks has actually been shared on the Instagram main page, where it's been shared over like millions of times by people. And this again is asking the question, like, what is the difference, right? Do we still need to make that physical product in order to reach so many people and in order for them to interact with this object? Now, we also like to use like materials that really are impossible to use in real life. So This would be from an internet cable fur to lights to animated textures to all these things that really cannot happen in reality, because that's for us where the value of digital fashion lies. You can experiment. And the same goes for instance, the fact that we're doing these kind of things. So yeah, so like we're trying to express like sort of these new ways of maybe you want orange eyes, you know, and a purple skin for your digital avatar. All these things are possible, right? There's no longer, no one is saying like you have to be realistic. You can go very crazy with what you would like to be. And then you might ask yourself now, like, how do I actually wear it? How do I own it? How do I interact with it? And that's why a very interesting thing comes in. It's a new world that needs new governance and new ways of interacting. So one of the things that we use to basically create this new world is we put all of our files out for free. The latest collection is on our website. You can download it. And if you have knowledge of how to use 3D, you can create images like these. These are not our images. These are images by creators who've used our files. One of them being Ruby Globe from Hong Kong, is the middle, very famous influencer. She's used our files to basically dress her digital identity. And yeah, the same goes for all of these other creators that have used our garments to create their versions of it. That's the first layer. And then the second layer is you can wear our items in games. This is an example of where our garments are being worn in Sansar. And you can basically wear these garments as well in a metaverse like the Sandbox, for instance. Sandbox is a decentralized world where you're able to buy items. And yeah, it's really interesting to see like how our garments actually look on robots and all these kind of things, because, you know, in the physical world, you can't have that, but in a digital world, you can experiment with that. Another way to wear it is on your picture. So you're able to send a sort of picture, and then you're able to dress that picture and wear it on your Instagram. So this is definitely also something that we are working with, and that we think is a very interesting new way to share your socials and to interact with it. And very soon there will be body tracking, which can result in situations like these, where you're basically able to wear these beautiful garments in AR, and you're able to interact with it in real time. So really the idea is that in the future, you'll be able to own these kind of garments, and you'll be able to wear them anywhere you like, in any way you seem fit. And the more utilities there are, the better obviously it will work with consumers. So we use graphics cards and blockchain, no more needles and threads. And this is a really new way of interacting with fashion, in which we use technology to the best of our benefits. It means that, you know, we will use things like blockchain to create authentication and verification for the products that we're creating. One of the first examples of this was an experiment we've done in 2019, where we've used this garment. It's called the iridescence look. This garment was auctioned off at an Ethereum conference in 2019, May 2019. And there, the dress was auctioned off for $9,500. And this dress was actually the first dress to ever sell as an NFT on the blockchain. So before this, there was never any digital fashion or anything sold on a blockchain. But this dress was the very first dress that ever sold on a blockchain. And it was $9,500 or 54 Ether. Any of these you seem fit. So the interesting thing about this, that, you know, the new owner bought it for his wife, and she again wore it on her social channels, and she was able to interact with it. So we dressed her from her studios in Amsterdam without us ever seeing her in real life, creating this experience for her. And the same goes for the influencer you see here on the picture. Maybe 50 people saw her walking that day in real life, but millions and millions and millions of people saw her wearing this garment online, because it got world press, and it still does. So it creates a new sense of value. Like, what is value then in this digital space, and how do you interact with that? Because it's a whole new value-based system. And a lot of times the community decides on the value. So this is another project we've done together with a gaming company, Atari. It's very classical gaming games. It's really cool. And we designed a look for them, which was then sold off as an NFT. so non-fungible token, and this means that it has a unique code and a unique way of interacting with it. And people could actually wear this item in a game, and they could interact with it, and they could actually dress their picture too. So the NFT had different utilities in different worlds, which we think is also very interesting. And then another one we want to show you is the Artifact collaboration we've done. So Artifact is a really cool digital fashion metaverse brand that is creating sneakers, and we partnered up with them to create this look, which was basically a collection of digital fashion NFTs that could be worn in games, but also on your picture. And it sold out within 9 minutes, which was absolutely insane to us as well. But yeah, it shows the interest for this new world. And another thing is this collaboration we've done together with Nico Panda. Nico Panda is a fashion brand, and they do really cool, interesting things. And yeah, we've designed together with them these looks that were worn by a drag artist called Pablo Vittar. And these looks were sold off on Nifty Gateway as a promotion of Pablo Vittar's new album. And we dressed her in these sort of really cool looks. And then they could also be collected. So it's collectibles. It's also a very successful project. And then on this side, we wanted to show you that actually for Vogue Singapore, for the first time, there was a digital-only cover, which was sold as an NFT. And this digital-only cover was the first digital-only cover of a Vogue ever, and also the first time that digital fashion showed in this way. And yeah, we designed a little video. It's playing a little bit of sound. But yeah, it's creating this very sort of new way of interacting with the world. And you were also able to wear the headpiece as a head filter, and you still are. So if you go to the Vogue Singapore Instagram, you can interact with their filters, and you can basically wear the headpiece of the main look right now, right here, right now. And that's what we love about digital fashion. It's very much the right here, right now, and you're interacting with the people from the get-go. Last thing I want to show you is basically the experience we've created for our newest developments, which is basically a platform where you can trade digital fashion and customize it. So you're able to choose a garment, a fabric, and then you're able to mint that item. Minting means you're creating this item, and you can wear it in different spaces in the metaverse. So you're able to interact with it and wear it in different places. And this is something we're working on. It's called the Fabric Studio, and there you're able to live create your garments and basically see what you like and pick and choose, and then create your own digital fashion NFTs. And with this, we really try to revolutionize the fashion industry, where we'll have a play-to-earn economy. People can create their own microeconomies, selling their items and interacting with the items and collecting them, so that we have a new revenue model around fashion that is less exploitative and will create more creativity at the end. So yeah, fashion does not need to be physical to exist. Thank you so much.
酷炫的影片，再次感谢 Amber 的分享。
Thank you. Thank you, Amber, again. Let's now welcome our director, Mr. Ge, to the stage again. Thank you, Amber J Sloten, for your insightful presentation. In her presentation, you can hear about NFT and how NFT is integrated with fashion to be employed in digital fashion. In the future, we need to dress ourselves before we enter the metaverse, so digital fashion will become a very important element. Also, on Instagram, you can use filter to dress yourselves with the latest fashion and dress yourself properly in the metaverse.
Coming up next, we will be inviting other moderators, other speakers who will be joining us remotely. The next speaker will be Zhang Jian, Ken Chung. He is the CEO of MCC International. This corporation is based in Singapore, and Ken Chu graduated from London Business School and other renowned business schools around the world. So without further ado, I would like to turn the program over to Mr. Ken Chu, and then he will then be followed by Wen Qi and other speakers. Ladies and gentlemen, online viewers from around the world, I would like to thank the Taiwan Creative Content Agency for inviting me to be part of this very prestigious conference. I would like to share with you some of the latest development trends and my thoughts on NFTs. I am now in Singapore. I'm very happy to join you remotely as this conference is taking place in Taipei. I have about more than 20 years of experience in developing related technologies, startups, particularly the digital assets development. The previous two speakers have talked a lot about NFTs. So what exactly are NFTs? People love to collect. It is the human nature. In fact, each year we buy 370 billion worth of collectibles a year. So, how much is 370 billion? In terms of games, OTTs, and movie tickets, if you add all of these expenditures together, they cost all of us about 370 billion. In a real world, physical assets are usually tangible. We have cash, we have gold, we have timber. They are tangible assets or currencies. These assets are, in fact, the store of value. They are interchangeable, uniform, divisible. We don't really care who previously had owned this currency or a specific coin. And the ownership history usually is not trackable. However, we also have at the same time non-fungible assets. They are usually viewed as storing vessels of culture. They are usually not interchangeable. They're unique, non-divisible, and the ownership history might be trackable. You might ask, why in the digital world people don't collect assets? Over the past 25 years, there hasn't been scarcity or digital scarcity in the internet world. For example, you might enter a game, you spend a lot of time and money playing this game, you make a lot of efforts and to obtain a lot of assets or props. However, once you exit that game, you cannot carry your assets, digital assets with you. Over the years, people in the movie industry or the music industry, people are coming up with DRM, digital rights management solutions. However, it is exactly because these solutions are usually created to limit distribution and ownership. There's no true digital ownership in our digital goods, of our digital goods. There is a general lack of tradability or portability. On blockchain, digital assets are intangible. The assets we're most familiar with are the fungible tokens, coins. They are the stores of value, interchangeable, uniform, divisible, and the ownership history might be trackable. However, when it comes to non-fungible tokens, NFTs, they bear similarity to the tokens we have in the real world. They could be the store of culture. They are not interchangeable. They are very unique in their own right, and they are non-divisible. And their ownership history is definitely trackable. Moreover, the creators might get subsequent revenue streams once the non-fungible tokens change hands for the second, third, or fourth time. In 2021, we see that there is an increase in funding in NFTs. The NFT funding has exceeded 2 billion in 2021. As of today, over 100 companies have been able to raise 2 billion US dollars as of today. This is, in fact, 65 times the funding raised compared to the funds raised last year. Why are people so interested in NFTs? Over the past few weeks, many NFT companies were able to raise more than 200 million US dollars. Why are the investors so interested in NFTs? Let's look at the market. Are the markets growing at the same time? Indeed, in 2020, NFTs sales were about 95 million. However, over the last 9 months, we're seeing that this number has grown by 130 times. In 2021 alone, we could see that the NFT sales have exceeded 13 billion US dollars. You might ask, what are the most common transaction amount of NFTs? In fact, over 75% of NFT transactions are under 1,000 US dollars. I would like to use the record music industry to illustrate how NFTs could further return ownership to the buyers. So perhaps we would look back at the evolution of the key recorded music formats. It went from vinyl to audio cassettes to compact CDs to iTunes. At the time, we thought that we were the real owners of the music because we have the vessel that contained the music. With the launch of KKBox, which was the very first streaming service provider in the world, people have started to realize that they are renting music instead of owning music. Now, with YouTube's emergence in the market, people are listening to free music. However, the platform is ad-supported. Starting in 2018, we are returning to the stage where we think, can we really be the true owner of the music? The answer is yes. Facebook, about 2 weeks ago, changed its name to Meta. Mark Zuckerberg said that we are put on this earth to create. I believe technology can make our lives better, and I believe the future won't be built on its own. The actual meaning of this sentence might have slipped people's mind. In the video that he released, he used the following 2 keywords frequently: creators, developers. Without creators or developers, the platform would be left with nothing. Therefore, big technology companies have wanted to lure creators to create on their platforms. They are dishing out 20 billion, 100 million, 1 billion to attract creators. However, it is a drop in the bucket, in my opinion. Let's take Facebook, for example. Its yearly revenue is about 100 billion. Now it's saying that it will lure creators with 1 billion in payments. That means it's only 1% of its annual revenue. Moreover, creators very often capture imbalance of value of their work. Let's take music creation, for example. Let's say a consumer pays $10 to buy music. However, the singers and the songwriters altogether would only get about 20% of the total revenue stream. And in fact, big music labels and music publishers get a bigger share, and the mega creators are able to capture a greater share of the profit. However, the long tail creators are usually left behind. However, in recent years, we have seen the rise of the creator economy. I believe NFTs also create more opportunities for the gig economy. So, what exactly is the creator economy? It resembles what we have been described as a gig economy. For example, Uber. Uber offers you transportation services, taking you from point A to point B. However, you don't usually put so much efforts in selecting the driver. However, for digital content, you're focused on which singer, recording artist you prefer, and each recording artist could create its own brand, its own communities. The creator economy is built around highly motivated, creative, and skilled individuals that are using digital platforms to start their own business brands and communities. We have been living in the attention economy for a very long time. So people have been using gaming and algorithms for discovery and follower growth. However, as we move on to the creator economy, we are converting anonymous followers to fans, supporters, and customers. We are creating more engaging content. However, NFT could provide opportunities to monetize for direct monetization, going from ad-driven to monetization. Creator-centric platforms will give them more profit, so they're turning the fans into their supporters, into their communities, and NFTs are able to help the creators achieve that goal. NFTs empower the creator economy. Over the past month, you could see that creator economy and NFTs are converging. And over 250 million funds have been invested in this year alone. So I would like to say that 2021 is the growth year of NFTs. Next, I would like to share with you the 15 most popular use cases of NFTs this year. Number one is the Beeple. His original digital work containing photos, videos, animations were sold at 69.3 million this year.
NFT can also serve as a preserve of memorable or historical moment. For example, the CEO of Jack Dorsey, the very first tweet was sold at almost $3 million in March this year. Time magazine in April this year also auctioned 3 covers of Time. 2 of them were historical, and there's one that's never seen before. And they were sold at around $440,000. NFT can also be used in minting licensed characters and IPs as digital collectibles. Movie premiere and poster artwork. So NFT can be used in movie premiere. This is a sci-fi movie launched in September called Zero Contact, featuring Anthony Hopkins. Before it was released on box office, it was sold on NFT at around $100,000.
is not there. 我们也看到也有
Movie companies also release unpublished movie footages minted as NFT for sale. This is an unseen movie footage from In the Mood for Love of Wong Kar-wai. This was a 1.5-minute footage. It was sold at around $550,000.
你咗好耐啦？
好耐啫。
咁你食咗未啊？
在音乐方面。
In music, Kings of Leon is a very well-known band, and they minted When You See Yourself album as an NFT. It generated over $2 million of revenue during the first 2 weeks of releasing this artwork as NFT. There are more and more musician artists who use NFT to sell and release their works. Kings of Leon also minted 18 tickets as NFTs, and these 18 NFTs give owners 4 front row seats to any Kings of Leon concert for life. It also provides launch access, meet and greet, and exclusive merchandises to be redeemed. And this NFT also serves as an online or offline concert ticket. NFT can also give its owners exclusive access to communities and extra content, so music artists and their fans can have more engagement opportunities. NFTs can also serve as a brand extension. This is Campbell. Campbell's Soup collaborated with the artist Sophia Chan to celebrate the new label design, so they dropped 100 limited edition NFTs as a result. Last week, McDonald's celebrated the 40th birthday of McRib. They dropped 10 limited edition McRib NFTs to its tweet followers. CryptoPunk. This is 24 by 24 headshots that users can use as their avatar. The one you're seeing on the screen was sold at $11 million. That's the highest price one. Jay-Z and some other celebrities turn these NFTs that they have procured as their headshots on Twitter. This is Bored Ape Yacht Club. It was sold at around $3.4 million. It was released by Yuga Labs. They released 10,000 unique works. Sabguri and some other celebrities put these onto their headshots for Twitter. Universal Music also recently announced that they have chosen these 2 apes, Bored Ape Yacht Club headshots, so that they will form a band called Camshoot, and they will release some musical works. This is NFT in sports. This is a Canadian company, Dapper Labs. They have launched these NBA Top Shot NFTs. So far, they have attracted more than 1.1 million registered users with more than 780 million traded, and the company now values at $7.6 billion. This is a French company, Sorare. They have issued NFT cards, player NFT cards, so that you can build your fantasy soccer team. This company now is valued at 4.3 billion. Cristiano Ronaldo's NFT car is sold at 290,000 US dollars. This is the highest price of all of the player cards.
This
is a company called Artifact. In February, it cooperated with an 18-year-old artist and sold more than 600 pairs of sneakers in 7 minutes with 3.1 million US dollars of revenue. These sneakers can be worn in the metaverse, and last week it announced the project of working with Kamisan to create avatars. Amber mentioned in her presentation that these virtual and 3D needs to be manifested and worn somewhere. So now you could see that this is a virtual world on the blockchain, and they actually held a party where everyone can put on their avatars, the digital wardrobe that they have procured. In this party, you can go to casinos, listen to music, join parties and events. However, this platform is most interesting in that you can buy and sell land on this platform. And now the most expensive estate was sold at $114,000. 2 weeks ago, they launched a virtual music festival in this platform, and they invited Taylor Swift to perform.
This is gonna be hard. Initializing Paris, Hilton, intro, sequence.
Finally, NFT has created a play-to-earn business model. This means that users can play to earn. This is a Vietnamese company and this game is very popular in a lot of emerging communities and economies such as Brazil, Philippines, Venezuela, and Vietnam. There are a lot of people who play this game to earn an income. And this helps to distribute income to these emerging economies. We can see that in some of these emerging economies, the owners of crypto wallets actually exceed that of people who own a credit card. This company has also announced that they are going to have some new plans in the future.
I
would like to conclude now about how NFT creates value. First of all, it is valuable because it's scarce. If you can get an NFT at any time, then it's not valuable anymore. But another growing importance here is utility. What kind of utility can an NFT provide? The third one is reputation. Is there a good reputation attached with an NFT that can give you visibility or status, social status? And then finally, liquidity. Is it easy to buy and sell the NFT? In this graph, it shows that we're still at an early stage of NFT. Right now, there are only about 80 million crypto wallet holders globally. And the number for people who engage in NFT transactions will be even smaller. So there is still a long way to go. In a nutshell, true digital ownership is still at its early stage. Most NFTs that are traded now have low utility. People buy it because of its collectability and speculation. The majority of NFT traded today are generated by people who already own cryptocurrencies rather than, true, mass adoption by the general netizens. However, we believe that there is a big opportunity for the creator economy, as well as culture, entertainment, and social-driven applications in the field of NFT. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Kentron, for your presentation. We have two more presentations to come. Next, we are ready to invite Mr. Takayuki Moriya. He is also someone that I aspire to a lot. He is the CEO of AWW. This is a company that's well known for its creation of virtual avatar. They also create a lot of VR work. Also, the production company for the closing of the Japanese Olympics.
Thank you for your warm introduction. I'm the CEO of All Inc. My name is Takayuki Moriya. I'm very pleased to join my friend Daito Manabe as we participate in the Taiwan Creative Content Fest. I would like to introduce to you some of my most recent projects. And I also heard that Daito Manabe's introduction to his recent projects. Those are very, very engaging and exciting ones. We make virtual avatars. On my Facebook page, we just recently launched some avatars. Starting 2018, we have been executing a lot of virtual avatar projects. After my company was established, I also work with Takuya, one of the co-founders of my company. He was previously working with Google in the United States. Western Family, Johnston Smith, were all artists that we have worked with. About 10 years ago, we worked on the CG of the new Godzilla movie. So the other co-founder and I had worked on numerous projects. We realized that over the years, we were able to create more authentic and real-looking avatars. And this has gotten us to think about how can we use computers or CGs to enable the avatars to appear to be more human-like in games. So over the years, we've been thinking about it, we've been experimenting through trial and error, and here we are. So we were able to create these virtual avatars. They are capable of communicating, interacting with people in real life. So let us meet Ima. She's a virtual avatar or a virtual character, if you will. So I actually have a 3D version of her, a 3D model of her in real life. So which is placed right behind me. She is a virtual character, and she can do a lot of interaction and communication that a real person simply is not capable of. She's from Japan. However, she's being followed and liked by people around the world. Let me show you some images of Ima. So Ima, this virtual human, actually appeared in a number of commercials. In fact, in 2021, in the Paralympic Games held in Tokyo, in the opening ceremony, she in fact appeared and performed at the opening ceremony. In the closing ceremony, I was personally involved in the production of the closing ceremony, and Ima also appeared as a virtual human to perform at the closing ceremony. So how does she interact with her fans? Through these social platforms such as Instagram and TikTok and other platforms. As you could see, Ima now has formed partnerships and collaborative relationships with over 60 global brands. Whether the collaboration can be done in various methods or various different ways. And however, they have one thing in common, that is the nature of the collaboration really hinges on Ima being a virtual human. Here, I will show you more examples of how Ima is actually working with real-life stars, global stars and celebrities in different promotional campaigns. Ima, in addition to working on international collaboration projects, she also appears in local fashion shows, promoting local brands. Next, I would like to talk about our upcoming projects. We are working with Epic, an American company, to develop more technology through R&D collaboration. A lot of the jobs that we do have to do with research and development at this point. Through R&D, we are able to use it in, for example, motion capturing system. We are able to make sure that this virtual human's facial expressions and gestures are more authentic and human-like. And we're able to optimize the different functions so that the virtual human could interact and communicate with people in the real world in a real-time manner. So the virtual human could make gestures and could respond based on the real-time feedback. So we hope that in the future we can create more content so that she stops just being a virtual person that moves and talks. There will be more context for her to appear in. Virtual humans are able to co-create with its followers and supporters so that once we reach economy of scale, we are creating a fan community. In the future, the virtual humans can become stars in their specialized field and change the game. In metaverse, by way of VR, AR, XR, through social media, as an influencer, as a celebrity, and be connected with NFTs. Be involved in virtual fashion, games, live experiences, memberships, just to name a few. Because of EMA, because of the success of this particular virtual human, we expect that it will also boost the growth of all the different layers I just talked about, the games and NFTs, and the social media, follower communities online, to name a few. So I hope that the human emotions and thoughts can also be reflected by this virtual human, Ima. For example, art and storytelling. For example, by creating art, we project our artistic aesthetics onto IMA, and then we will be able to combine our concern with some current trending issues, such as environmental issues, and then create artworks that could be shown or worn by IMA. There are so many things I want to achieve by creating this virtual human. I'm able to expand not just my own world, but the entire virtual world. We live in the age of information overload. So how do we reorganize and synthesize the different sources of information and make it our own? So this is the question that I ask myself every single day. Ima has been a great success. However, we have also created other virtual humans. For example, you could see here is a screenshot of our virtual characters. Plastic Boy, his name is Zane. He's also a virtual human that we have launched. And he will pursue a career in the music industry. Ria, this yet another virtual human with green hair. She is very active in Japan. However, recently she's been dating and seeing Zayn. In the near future, they might become a virtual couple, and they will tour and go to different places around the world as a virtual couple. Now, Asu is a virtual human designer, and the designer for the apparel brand Nowhere, and this character works with designers from Paris. And here we work with Disney Japan to develop Ella. She is a virtual character that we co-managed and developed with Disney Japan. Here, let us meet Ayai. IIE was developed about 3 months ago. It is a virtual human active in China, co-developed by my company and a Chinese company. There were news reports about her launch video that was viewed by 30 million people. And this one we had created with KDDI. KDDI is a telecommunication operator in Japan. She is a virtual human, and that is a spokesperson and the promoter of VR and XR and AR. And this one, Belle, is a virtual human that was just recently released. It is based off a human director, Hosoda Mamoru's new work, Belle, which grossed successfully in the Japan box office. It will then tour to the U.S. to promote the film. We have experimented with a lot of virtual humans. We are yet to expand our marketing and audience reach. We also own a virtual production studio, and we also use this as a keyword to release a lot of our virtual production projects on YouTube. We would shoot our own video, virtual videos. We would create videos about how we go about creating these virtual humans, the process of developing them, and put these videos on YouTube. And we will create, for example, Ima walking down the streets in Tokyo and what the views and the street, an urban scape would look like from the perspective of Ima. So we are trying to create vlogs or these video diaries of Ima as she travels around the city and put these videos on YouTube. Of course, we have to talk about NFTs, virtual fashion, game, and avatar. We are creating a new brand in the metaverse and the virtual humans are associated with NFTs, fashion, games, and new avatars. So here I'm showing you some of our projects related to virtual fashion. For instance, we often think about who are our target audience, potential buyers of our virtual fashion, what kind of means or what are the ways to better present and launch these fashion apparels, virtual fashion apparels. And we often think to ourselves, what are the best ways to expand our market and reach more audience? We are focusing on markets in Asian countries. In terms of promoting virtual fashion, here is an example, our virtual shoes. And it is a relatively large project compared to the rest. Next, I would like to talk about what's happening next month.
We have a next level NFT project that will be launched next month. Actually, this is the first time I am releasing this news and disclosing this. We believe that NFT is not only something that you can use in the metaverse. In the metaverse, we would have virtual avatars for everyone. And I was talking to one of my friends the other day, mentioning that actually Japan has a forte in manga, in anime. So this can serve as a very important basis for us to create some universal elements that everyone can use or relate to in the metaverse. So we want to create an NFT world based on this. We started the planning for this project a year ago, and right now we have created more than 100 virtual avatars that we will launch and release in 3D form. And we hope that by January next year, you will be able to see more detail about this next level NFT project. And we will not remain only in Japan or in Asia. We will also expand to the United States and other overseas territories. So I have covered a lot of ground, and that concludes my presentation today. Thank you. Is it too fast? Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Moria. I love NFT, and am a verified artist and collector in NFT as well. So I'm very happy to see that there are more Asian companies to make their headway into NFT. Last but not least, for this session, we would like to invite Amy from Moonshine Creation to present to us. Amy is the production director of Moonshine Creation. She used to work in other design companies focusing on interactive media. She has had long experiences in the interactive media production field and has worked with a lot of different companies in implemented huge-scale projects. Let's now give the floor to Amy. Hello, everyone. I am from Moonshine Creation. We started as an animation company. However, as technology advances, our founder believed that we have to also improve ourselves. And there are many aspects about digital media, and right now we want to integrate art and lab. Today we are talking about metaverse. So metaverse means that this is a parallel universe on top of the real world. And in this metaverse, you need virtual avatars. In order to make metaverse possible, you need to have platforms, content, and the element of social in order to create this metaverse. Platform, I think everybody knows about Facebook, that they are going to be changed into Meta and make themselves a metaverse company. So that will be a platform where creators and everybody can join the metaverse. And of course, Facebook has to do with social as well. So we have two elements ready here. What content do we want to have in the metaverse? This is something that we believe our company can delve into. We started as an animation company. We have 3D technologies. So we believe we can create a lot of these contents that people would like to consume or be immersed in the metaverse. You have been hearing these different Rs, AR, VR, MR, XR. And for us, the most important thing of these Rs is that we have to think beyond the hardware devices. We have to create immersive experiences in these MR, XR, AR, or VR world. Because of the COVID-19 situation, the virtual world has seen an explosive growth. For example, Facebook has launched its virtual conference room. We also now see BMW using virtual factories to combine the power of AI and cloud computing to maximize the manufacturing of automotives. Virtual gaming world, you could see Squid Game being replicated in this virtual game world, and then you can allow multiple people to be online to participate in this online Squid Game. NVIDIA has created an Omniverse to create a collaboration portal for 3D talents, Roblox They have created a social platform for artists to hold virtual concerts, or gamers can issue their own games and gain a profit. Facebook, once again, they have Oculus Quest 2, which is the VR headset with the highest market penetration. It also offers great value. They will maximize the function of this device to bring more people to the metaverse. So how do we enter into this virtual world, this metaverse? I think several years ago, people have been talking about cloud computing. This is Balenciaga, a virtual fashion show that they have put up a while ago. So they use cloud computing and put these fashion models onto the internet. In the past, we need a very powerful computer to compute and render these interactive, high-definition images and videos in real time. Now, because of cloud computing, you can see all of these real-time renders on a web page. Even if you're just using a cell phone, you can do it too. Moonshine, recently, on the 30th of October, we completed a project called Taiwan Now. This is a collaboration between Taiwan and Japan. This is a huge project, and we are responsible for part of this project. So we use cameras to film and record all of these performers and artists, and we put them into a virtual setup that corresponds to the feel and mood of their music and performance. And this is also a massive online experience. So all of these little spots that you can see here, little glitter of light, this represents one user. So this concert is still currently available online. So you could see that we have created like a little metaverse for music lovers. So let's take a look at this video to see how it feels. So you could see that you could interact live with these performers. We are running out of time, so let's move on. So search Taiwan Now, and you will be able to find information about this online metaverse concert. So for our company, the next step is to work to integrate our technology, content, and IP. We would also like to create mixed reality theater. So we have created a 10-meter by 10-meter immersive space and use HoloLens 2 goggle to create an immersive environment. So you will be able to see these different virtual characters in this immersive environment with which you can interact. This is one of our first contents. This is developed with a director that works in Disney in the United States. So this is a piece of content where it's both entertainment and educational, and it will be formally launched early next year. Animation and interaction, these are two very important elements in any content we create. In a metaverse, it's very important to have real-time rendering, because you want to have immediate interaction, such as a game environment. So all of these 3D artworks and assets needs to be immediately rendered in real time. This is one key technological hurdle in creating a metaverse. This is a project that we work with ASUS. ROG is a brand of ASUS. This is esports brand. We have created a very important IP, a story or universe for this ROG brand. So we started with these advertisements showing these esports keyboards, mouse, headsets, and then we created the whole universe, a virtual universe for ROG brand. So here you could see all the different characters we have created for them. Every year they would have a video of the year for this brand. This is the city, one of the cities in this virtual world for ROG. And you see we have created a lot of different assets, and these assets can all be converted and juxtaposed into other digital or virtual world. So you could see that we started working with ROG in 2016. We, starting from 2017, we started to create this virtual world and worldview, and now we have created so much content for them. With this case, you could see that we can extend the value of the brand by creating characters, stories, and a whole virtual world, a virtual universe. So the ROG remains a lot more than a brand of a computer. And the ultimate goal is to develop a gaming community around the ROG brand so that they can create a community of its own. Let's take a look at the little clip about the ROG universe we have created. All right, because of the time constraints, let me move on. We have also invested a lot in speeding up the creation of these virtual characters. So this is our Moonshine Lab with 360 motion capture. So, and we can preserve all of these dynamic models. So I think our next step is to make sure that the creative process, these virtual assets can be created in a speedy manner and with high quality, and we can create it very quickly and then put it into the virtual world. What we have so far is that we spend a lot of time creating these assets and integrating them into the virtual world. Now we have to move on to the technological and R&D development to enable all these. So that's my time. Thank you very much.
像这个非常开心啊，我们总算。
Thank you. We have brought many metaverses together. Now, we would like to ask each and every panelist a question. Some questions are in fact raised by audience joining us today. I will now read out loud all the questions. Then I will direct each of them to one speaker, and each speaker will have 1 to 2 minutes to answer these questions. The first is for Ken Chung. You talked about the digital wallet, which is about 80 million. This would affect the NFT market. So from your perspective, NFT will definitely be a booming industry. How do we further popularize it? What is the biggest challenge in promoting NFTs? Now, 80 million people have the digital wallets. How do we raise the number to perhaps 800 million? Next question. Many audience members were saying that Emma is really cute. She is a very lovely lady living in an interesting world. Do you plan to add artificial intelligence to Emma so that one day in their own metaverse, IPA or other virtual humans could interact with us individually, being powered by AI? Okay, and then next question goes to Ami. You talked about your digital modeling. You talked about the mixed reality. However, you did not really talk about NFTs. NFTs, metaverse, from the perspective of moonshine creation, what are your plans to deploy or position yourself in the industry with the rise of metaverse and NFT? Thank you. I believe it's important for me to point out that the fact that there are 4 to 5 challenges. Number one is user experience. There is a high entry barrier when you want to mint, buy, or sell. A lot of users said that their experience is yet to be improved. Number two, because the entire environment is becoming more decentralized, there will be different types of operators, providers. There are scammers. There are people who are not really up to par or qualified to be part of the industry. In the cryptocurrencies world or in the realm of NFT, there are still such risks. We need to educate people so that people have the ability to differentiate between people, the operators or service providers that are trustworthy and those who are not. NFTs have to be built on the blockchain. The assets are built on an integral blockchain. Not everybody is familiar with this idea, so education is needed. Another aspect of it is that the ownership management. Sometimes you said that you're the creator. You may be taking others' IP and turn it into your IP. So the IP management can be challenging. Lastly, technologies are evolving very fast. However, the laws and regulations, meaning the regulatory frameworks, are yet to catch up. So that could be a challenge for the regulatory agencies. Now, on to our Japanese speaker, Maria. What about using AI to enable the virtual humans to interact with us individually? In the future, sure, I believe that's a possibility. Now we do not have such a plan to use AI in our virtual humans. In 2015, I talked with a Japanese production company called Soda Online. They, in fact, created a character that is enabled by AI and related algorithms to create this holistic character. It is an animated, animation-like character. I was personally involved in the process of enabling the character to use AI to have conversations with its target audience. So people out there are already working on it, and this company has been developing and improving technologies, associated technologies. So this character is able to have conversations with people in the real life individually. This can be done, and it's proven that it can be done. However, when it comes to our virtual humans, I believe we still need to experiment. There's a lot of thinking for us to do. So currently we do not have a plan for using AI in our virtual humans, but that could be something that we will consider in the future. Thank you. Is it possible that in the future that consciousness or independent thinking ability could be enabled in these virtual humans? But that could be a separate discussion. So now, Ami, can you talk about metaverse and NFTs? There are aspects of the issue you can't talk about because it has to do with proprietary rights and a client confidentiality. I think it's important for us to consider how to put on shows and performances by virtual characters. And then people will have to use NFTs to purchase admission tickets. It is a lot like when we bought DVDs to a concert. You see pirated DVDs immediately on the market. So in the future, when we sell these NFTs, we will look hard into the protection of ownership. So that will be the direction that we will be taking in the near future. Thank you so much for joining us today. I believe that recently we have all been wondering about the metaverse and NFTs and the implications of these latest developments. People call me the missionary in NFTs. I have a series of podcasts to talk about and educate people about NFTs. So for those of you joining us online and those of you attending in person, can we put our hands together and give another warm round of applause to our panelists joining us today virtually? So we would like to end the session now. Before we wrap things up, we would like to invite all the speakers joining us remotely and our moderator, Mr. Ge, to please join us in group photo shooting.
我们在进行大合照的时候，好，台上的贵宾也都有保持着笑容。感谢现场各位贵宾的参与。那今天早上的论坛，我们到这边告一段落。
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this morning. That concludes session 7.